this bill the last time around. Let's bring in Congressman John Adler. Hey, Congressman Adler, welcome back to the Big Talker. Good to have you.
Giordano, great to speak with you.
Well, Congressman, you voted against the House version of the health care bill. Now, some people are saying you might be undecided about the current incarnation of this. If that's the case, what changed?
I don't think anything's changed. I don't know what the bill is going to contain.
Okay.
I'm one of these sort of old-fashioned guys that think I should read the bill and know what's in it before I make up my mind about it. So I don't quite understand the people that are going to say that, yes, I'll vote for it no matter what it contains, or no, I'm voting against it no matter what it contains. I want to make sure it contains the things that I think are necessary for businesses and taxpayers to be better off 5 years from now and a decade from now. And I don't think I can make a judgment until I see what's in the bill.
Well, based upon what we know then, do you see this as meeting, I think I've seen commentary where you've said the Senate bill is better at controlling cost, and if it's that form of it, or the Obamacare, the president's bill, would that be in a sweet spot for you?
Well, I think what I'm hearing is that some of the things that the Senate put in to control costs are now being watered down in the compromise proposal between the House and the Senate. So we're actually going in a different direction that's not the direction I think we should go in at all with respect to cost containment. Again, that's still in flux, but we're trying to make things better for the country, and I'm scared that by not thinking this through, they could make things worse. And so I'm very worried that this won't be real health care reform that helps businesses and helps people that buy private insurance. And instead, we'll just have a bigger mess a couple years from now.
Let's talk about reconciliation for a moment. I've had on some of the powers here in Pennsylvania, people that are usually not uncivil to their colleagues and try to be bipartisan, or at least say that, and yet they've endorsed reconciliation as a way of getting that done. What do you think of that concept with the health care bill, if you were in favor of it, if it meets some standard, to push it through in that manner?
Well, I want to vote for good legislation, so I'm not bound by Senate rules. I'm bound by my conscience and the wishes of the people of my district and what I think is right for our country. So I want to vote for something that's good, and I'm going to vote against things I think are bad. It's a pretty basic litmus test for me, so I'm not really sure.
What I'm saying is, though, if it got through in that manner, do you have a thought on that? Because to me, if that happens, we feel there is going to be a huge divisive flavor coming out of that. That is going to really ratchet things up even more if it would go through that matter.
I embrace that point. I think there's already been so much unnecessary partisanship, such a failure of the sort of more senior members of the House and the Senate on both sides to try to work together with a tone of respect, even when they're in the same room. I don't get a sense they're really trying to respect each other and share each other's, love of our country. And so I do understand the concern of a lot of people in my district and around our country that reconciliation might be a way to jam something through that doesn't really have the support of the American people. And I listen to that concern very closely.
Congressman, let's talk about your constituents now. I've seen you say that you're not going to play politics. You're going to vote what you think is appropriate. Certainly admirable. But what are your constituents saying? Because here at the Big Talker, we follow the national polls pretty closely, and people seem to be opposed to what we think is out there at this point. So what are the constituents of Congressman Adler saying?
Well, when I'm in my district,
Adler saying, I'm sorry.
As long as people are nice to me, whether they call me Adler or Adler, it's okay. I will tell you that I hear a lot of concern about business costs. The number one thing I hear about from the people in my district is the economy. And so I want us to do anything that can help the economy, that's responsible in terms of fiscal propriety going forward and not burdening future generations. And things that aren't going to be helpful to the economy, I'm going to be against, because I really hear that as the central issue of joblessness, of people's home prices still down, the home building industry is still so flat. Things that we really need to grow our economy aren't happening yet to the extent they need to. So if the health care bill is going to be good for growing our economy and being good for business for 3 years from now and 10 years from now, it's something I'd consider. If, in fact, it's not going to be helpful to business and to growing an economy and creating good private sector jobs, I'm not sure how I could possibly support that.
Congressman, did you vote for cap and trade? I'm a little unclear on that.
I did. I did vote for a bill which I thought was necessary to wean us away from this awful addiction to foreign oil, which I think has weakened our foreign policy and made us have to deal with these dictators like Venezuela and these kingdoms like Saudi Arabia that just don't share our values. We got to do something, and I certainly support more drilling, more nuclear power, but we got to move forward away from just more oil from these countries that hate us.
Well, wouldn't drilling and nuclear power and natural gas and those things, if we really open those up, I'm glad you support them, because there's a lot of objection to this. There seem to be a lot of flaws in this, particularly as the debate over climate change, too, seems to be a bit murkier now.
Well, I take that point. I'm focused on the economics of this and the foreign policy, national security aspects of energy policy. It just sickens me that we've got to keep buying oil from these countries that don't respect us, that don't treat us well, that don't stand up with us when we've got to fight terrorism around the world, and yet we still give them billions of dollars every year, and they don't somehow give us back that money in terms of buying our exports and having the sort of fair trade that helps American workers and American families. So we got to do something big, but you're absolutely right. The drilling's a big part of this, and a much enhanced nuclear program across our whole country in every state has to be part of this going forward. And it's astonishing that for the last 30 years we've done nothing to wean ourselves of this addiction from foreign oil.
Do you have any sense, Congressman, of the president, why Philadelphia, other than we're a media center? Is there anything particular about Philadelphia on Monday? Do you know?
Well, I think maybe because it's the greatest city in the world.
That's I think you'd say that, and the Philly, maybe he's going to be here to the Phillies. But is there anything?
I don't know. I have not coordinated travel schedules with him at all, so I don't know why he would choose Philadelphia. Of course, he, as our commander-in-chief, is always welcome in the Delaware Valley. We're happy to have him.
Will you be there with him, Congressman?
I will not be.
Okay.
I'm not sure where he's even going to be in Philadelphia, but I was not invited. I'll be with people of my district trying to figure out what to do to help create a better business economy.
Well, Congressman, thank you. Thanks for always being available.
Hey, Dom, great to talk to you.